With the dust settled, Lewis Hamilton's soon-to-be teammate Charles Leclerc makes his thoughts known on the biggest transfer in Formula One history. And Frederic Vasseur lets us in on how brutal it was breaking the news to Toto Wolff. How did the Mercedes team boss react behind closed doors? Let's find out in today's video. Charles Leclerc recently shared his thoughts on the announcement that Lewis Hamilton will join him as a teammate at Ferrari starting from the 2025 season. He described Hamilton's move as a seven-time world champion as a positive development for the team. A few weeks back, Hamilton surprised the F1 community with news of his switch from Mercedes, where he's been since 2013, to join the Scuderia Ferrari at the end of this year. This move meant Carlos Sainz, Leclerc's current teammate, will have to step aside. Leclerc shared his thoughts on Hamilton's upcoming arrival after Ferrari unveiled their new F1 car, the SF24. He mentioned being kept in the loop about the developments as they unfolded, admitting that, well, obviously these kind of deals are not finalized overnight, so it takes, of course, time. I was aware of those discussions before signing my new deal. It didn't come out as a surprise after signing. For the rest, I don't want to comment on it much, mostly out of respect for Carlos. We've had great years together, and we have one more together to do. We will do absolutely everything to finish on the highest note possible. Obviously, Lewis is an incredible driver, the most successful in history, with a lot of experience as well, which he will bring to the team and obviously myself, which is a good thing. When asked if he's had any contact with Hamilton and what it means to him to compete against such a formidable driver, Leclerc added, "Yes, we've had discussions with Lewis, especially when everything was announced and official. We texted each other, of course. As I said, Lewis is a great champion with a lot of experience and so much success. It's always interesting to have a new teammate as you learn different ways of working and of driving, even more so when my new teammate is a seven-time world champion." Leclerc also emphasized that being informed in advance about Hamilton's negotiations and decision to join Ferrari didn't lead him to make any special requests for his own multi-year contract renewal. "No, it hasn't changed anything in my discussions," he said. "Again, I focus on myself and what's good for me. There was no change of any requirements whatsoever. For me, it wasn't part of my discussions. I think it was good that the team was transparent anyway, just for me to not learn about Hamilton's deal after that. But it didn't change anything for me." While on the topic of Carlos Sainz, Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur admitted that informing the Spaniard about Lewis Hamilton's move to the Scuderia was anything but easy. Vasseur also revealed that one of the toughest calls he had to make was to his counterpart at Mercedes, Toto Wolff. Vasseur and Wolff share a close friendship, but breaking the news to Wolff about the seven-time world champion's move to Maranello from 2025 would have surely been a shock. Nevertheless, Wolff has maintained a diplomatic stance regarding the move since its announcement. Sainz expressed his surprise upon learning that Hamilton would be replacing him at the team for 2025, although he mentioned having several weeks to digest the news before it became public. Speaking at the launch of the Ferrari SF24 on Tuesday, the Scuderia team boss was questioned further about how the move for Hamilton unfolded and how Sainz was informed of the decision not to renew his contract for 2025, opting instead for the current Mercedes driver. "As you can imagine, it was not the easiest call of my life," Vasseur said to media of his first contact with Sainz surrounding Hamilton's move, before adding, "One of the most difficult was the one with Toto." When it comes to Sainz and his performances, Vasseur has full confidence in the Spaniard's dedication to Ferrari for the remainder of the season. He assured that the team would be fully supportive of Sainz in return during his final season with the Scuderia. "I'm fully convinced that Sainz is a very professional driver, that he understands that we have a long season in front of us, that it's a huge opportunity. And I think it's also a dream to be in this situation, to have the team behind him. I mean, we had a long discussion that, as you can imagine, I will be fully supporting with Carlos. He is fully committed, and we know that we have to do the job together. We are together. We are professional. You know that we have a good relationship for now, a bit more than 20 years, Vasseur said of himself and Hamilton. We were always in contact to speak about different things, and I think it came naturally. I don't know what was this easy for what was not, but it came like this, step by step. When questioned about whether the move was unfair on Sainz, considering his consistent performance at Ferrari and his competitive challenge against Charles Leclerc, Vasseur stressed that the decision was more about seizing the opportunity to sign the seven-time world champion rather than a reflection on Sainz himself. He responded by saying, "I don't know if unfair is the right word, because I think for the team, the opportunity of Lewis is something that you have to consider in any case. He is the biggest promise of the field. He is the guy with the biggest experience, and it's a huge opportunity for us. It has nothing to do with Carlos. Carlos did a great job last year. I'm sure that he will do a great job next year, that he's very professional. We have a very good personal relationship, but it's like it is, and we have to be focused on the future." According to F1 analyst Peter Windsor, Fernando Alonso would likely accept a short-term contract to replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes for the F1 2025 season. Windsor speculates that Mercedes might consider Alonso only if they face difficulties in 2024, unless pressured by the Daimler board to sign a world champion as Hamilton's replacement. Alonso's current contract with Aston Martin is set to end after the season, and team principal Mike Crack announced his plan to offer the 42-year-old driver a new multi-year deal at the launch of the new AMR 24 car on Monday. Alonso has stated that his top priority at the moment is to extend his stay with Aston Martin, but he hinted at a very unique negotiating position, being the only available world champion for 2024, with Hamilton and Max Verstappen already committed to Ferrari and Red Bull, respectively. Alonso's longtime friend, manager, and former Renault team principal Flavio Briatore further fueled speculation by posting a photo on Instagram. The image showed him having breakfast with Toto Wolff in Monaco just hours after Aston Martin's 2024 car launch, igniting a flurry of rumors. In a recent YouTube stream, Peter Windsor, the 1992 title-winning Williams team manager, expressed skepticism about whether Mercedes would meet Alonso's probable demands for a long-term contract. However, he suggested that Alonso would probably eagerly seize the opportunity to join Mercedes, even if only for a single season. Would Mercedes sign the long-term deal that Fernando would presumably want? But having said that, if Mercedes rang up Fernando and said, "Look, we're only going to offer you a one-year deal with an option on our side, but you've got the Mercedes race seat alongside George Russell if you want it for 1 year, hopefully 2, do you want it or not?" I think Fernando would probably take it. Actually, it depends how he goes in the Aston Martin. Nobody's talking about Aston, but they may be up there with Mercedes this year, maybe better than Mercedes. With rumors swirling about Mercedes favoring their junior driver Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who is 17 years old, as the preferred option to replace Hamilton, Windsor believes that the Silver Arrows will only consider Alonso if their performance issues continue in 2024. He suggests that Mercedes might be compelled to sign a world champion as Hamilton's replacement if Toto Wolff receives such an order. Notably, Mercedes has had at least one world champion driver since their return to F1 in 2010, with Hamilton joining to replace Michael Schumacher as Nico Rosberg's teammate at the end of 2012. It's an interesting one. Get an even older driver than Hamilton. Would they do that? Red Bull didn't sign Fernando because they think he's quite divisive in a team, and yes, he's probably mellowed a bit. And at Aston Martin, he's had to toe the line a bit and be nice to Lance Stroll, and that's all going quite well. He's obviously still really quick and really good. I suppose it's possible. Anything's possible. It's possible that the board at Mercedes are saying to Toto, "You've got to have an established world champion driver in the car." Toto is pretty good, I think, at selling what he wants to the sponsors and to the board. They seem to be raving about Kimi Antonelli, and George could have a very, very good year, and that's where they could be going. But if they're struggling, they might well take Fernando. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. Fernando will be on the phone to Toto, I would imagine. Fernando Alonso himself endorses Formula One's brand new partnership. He suggested that Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari could elevate the Italian team into championship contention in 2025. The Spaniard said, "During the past few years, Ferrari had a very fast car and were fighting for big things. Maybe Lewis can bring that extra to fight for the championship. The car is there." Alonso, expressing confidence in the new Aston Martin, remarked that Ferrari's performance, evidenced by taking more pole positions than Red Bull over the final 5 races of last season, indicates their potential to make huge strides forward. He said, "Even last year, with a very dominant Red Bull car, Ferrari were able to match the lap time and be faster than them in most of the qualifyings, so the car should be fast enough." But Alonso questioned Hamilton's assertion that driving for Ferrari was a childhood dream, referencing recent comments where the Briton expressed his desire to remain with Mercedes for the entirety of his career. It was not his childhood dream 12 months ago, no? Or 2 months ago, I guess, because it was a different dream then. What are your thoughts on a Hamilton-Leclerc pairing? Start a discussion in the comment section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching.